again.
It
Yes,
says here
recording
is in
started.
progress,
Okay,
recording.
okay.
But later on, you tell me how to catch this, and send it to you, okay?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, you follow us by the phone, by your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have it. Where did we stop last time? I think this is the third section, correct? No, this is the fourth. How many sections we have before?
4 session 4.
This is the fourth.
Yes. One thing, Prabhuji. So Dam Prabhu is here.
Yes, Dennis here.
Okay, so can Prabhuji can share what do you call the screen share? Okay.
The link.
Link
Oh
is
yeah, he doesn't have the computer, Dan.
yes. Okay, I sent link. So we'll start today from second chapter, first part.
Correct.
I sent link. Just click on this link.
This is done. We're gonna do it, right? Dan, we have to find a name for you
Okay.
until you get initiated.
Well, thank you. I usually go by Bhakta Dan.
We should call you Damodar or something.
I'd take it.
Okay, call you Damodar. It's until you get initiated, and let's see what happens.
Thank you for your
Okay,
mercy. Okay, I'm looking for the where. Let's see.
second chapter.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull it up. I have too many windows open. Okay, second chapter. Chapter 2 at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'll share screen. Somewhere. Zoom. Why isn't it showing me? Okay, share.
There's always some technical issues, huh?
Okay, it's good. You can see.
Start. Okay, chapter 2. Good. Now let me move this in the corner here. Okay.
You may
No.
start reading.
Yeah, but there's a problem for me that all the people, in the right, and the reading goes into that. So I'm trying to see if I can move.
I think where you see the people at the right, the top, it's got little
Yeah, I
symbols.
think. Okay, I got.
I
Okay,
had
you
the
want to
same
start,
problem.
Damodar? You want to start?
Sure, Swami. Thank you. Okay. Chapter 2, Sri Vrindavan Dan. December 2nd, 1995. After a short early morning walk.
1975.
Oh, sorry, 1975. Okay, I need glasses. All right. After a short early morning walk, our party left New Delhi, following the main Agra road as far as the district of Mathura, a 2-hour trip. Just before the Vrindavan turnoff, Prabhupada was pleased to see a newly erected sign on the Agra road advertising our ISKCON Krishna Balaram International Guest House. As his car turned left onto Chatikara Road, Gunarnava Das, eagerly waiting at the roadside on a motorcycle, sped ahead to inform the devotees of his divine grace's imminent arrival. We drove the last few miles down the narrow road past open fields and roadside trees and bushes until Vrindavan village finally came in sight. It brought a strong feeling of attainment, as if we were arriving home. Vrindavan is not an ordinary village. Even a neophyte devotee, such as myself, can perceive how different its spiritual atmosphere is from anywhere else. As the spires of our ISKCON temple came into view, Srila Prabhupada's comments on an enchanting description of Mathura Mandala by Rupa Goswami in the Nectar of Devotion ran through his mind. I remember the Lord standing by the banks of the Yamuna River, so beautiful amid the kadamba trees, where many birds are chirping in the gardens. And these impressions are always giving me transcendental realization of beauty and bliss. This feeling about Mathura Mandala and Vrindavan, described by Rupa Goswami, can actually be felt even by non-devotees. The places in the 84 square mile district of Mathura are so beautifully situated on the banks of the river Yamuna that anyone who goes there will never want to return to this material world. These statements by Rupa Goswami are factually realized descriptions of Mathura and Vrindavan. All these qualities prove that Mathura and Vrindavan are situated transcendentally. Otherwise, there would be no possibility of invoking our transcendental sentiments in these places. Such transcendental feelings are aroused immediately and without fail after one arrives in Mathura or Vrindavan. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, we disciples are realizing the truth of these words. Vrindavan invokes and inspires extraordinary devotional feeling. Pilgrims flock from all over the country to bathe in the Yamuna's sanctified waters or simply to spend a day or night within its holy precincts. Especially during auspicious times of the year, tens of thousands of pilgrims crowd Vrindavan's 9-mile-long parikrama path as they circumambulate the entire area. Some reportedly cover the entire distance over and over again, not by walking, but by continually offering dandavats. And then, apart from the visiting pilgrims, there are the residents of Vrindavan. Old men and widows who've come to live out their last times seeking a release from repeated birth and death, rather than a contemporary cure for physical ailments. They know that to die in Vrindavan means never having to return to this material world again. There are literally thousands of temples in the greater Vrindavan area. They range in size and grandeur from large custom-built structures with towering domes and elaborate carvings to simply homes in which traditional family deities are humbly worshipped. Most famous are those of the 6 Goswamis, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's intimate followers. Modern Vrindavan has risen and flourished because of the initial efforts of Srila Rupa and Sanatana Goswamis some 400 years ago. They dedicated their lives to the restoration of the once hidden sites of Sri Krishna's pastimes. Now, by their grace, thousands of pilgrims visit every day, attending temple artis and festivals that celebrate the pastimes of the Lord. Following in the footsteps of the Goswamis, Srila Prabhupada's special contribution is to broadcast the glories of the Dham, not simply within India, but throughout the world. And so by providing us with the Krishna Balaram temple and guest house, Prabhupada is giving us first-hand experience of the Holy Dham's transcendental nature. As his most elaborate and expensive project to date, in the most important place in the world for all Vaishnavas, Prabhupada is paying special attention to its development, especially because none of his disciples have ever managed such a large project. He's taking great care, personally guiding and overseeing management's development of the project to assure its success. He is only too aware of the many pitfalls to be avoided. Here in India, he spent considerable time doing this 2 months ago, and now he plans to spend the next 2 weeks to further solidify the high standards he requires. When the cars pulled up outside the main gates, Prabhupada stepped out to an exuberant welcome. As he moved forward to the temple entrance, I tucked in close behind. It was a completely new and marvelous experience for me, arriving at temple with Prabhupada instead of being there to receive and welcome him. My close friends, Bhagavat Ashraya, and Gunarnava Prabhus both gave me quizzical looks filled with surprise, perhaps even amazement. A few days ago, I had left Vrindavan for a one-day trip to Delhi, and now I was returning as part of Srila Prabhupada's entourage. But this was only a seconds exchange. Srila Prabhupada again absorbed our full attention, and we hurried to catch up as he entered the temple among a crowd of joyous and chanting disciples. Does someone else want to read?
Anybody else? Saurav? Okay.
Yes, next,
Tanushri?
yes, Tanushri. Yeah, please unmute.
Okay, I see the little hand.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for giving me the opportunity. So,
welcome.
is my voice clear?
You go ahead, start.
Prabhupada took darshan of the deities, offering his prostrate obeisances before each of the three altars, housing Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, Sri Sri Krishna Balram, and Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. After tasting the Charnamrit, the water that has bathed the deities, he walked back across the black and white checks of the marble floor to the Vyasasana, the seat reserved for him in the temple, and accepted Guru Puja before giving a lecture from the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada spoke on the 7th canto, 6th chapter, verse 1, concerning Prahlad Maharaj's instruction to his school friends. This section of the Bhagavatam is not yet published, as Srila Prabhupada is still translating it. Thus, it is new and exciting to hear. After the devotees responsibly recited the Sanskrit, Harikeshwar loudly read the translation. Repeating the verse, Prabhupada described Prahlad Maharaj as our predecessor guru and one of the 12 great authorities or Mahajanas on the science of Bhagavad Dharma. He explained that although Prahlad Maharaj was born the son of a great demon, his life proved that even birth in a sinful family does not bar one from Krishna consciousness, a point very relevant to us. He noted that Prahlad instructed his friends about Bhagavad Dharma during tiffin hours, although only 5 years old. Kaumara means at a young age, and Pratso means sufficiently intelligent. When one is sufficiently intelligent, he follows Bhagavad Dharma, and this is described by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita as surrender unto him. Prabhupada said that Sri Krishna advanced once in every 4 billion years at this very place, Sri Vrindavan Dham, just to teach us this. Therefore, Vrindavan is so valuable. He summed up the purpose of the Krishna consciousness movement as teaching that Krishna is the supreme and that there is no one superior to him. We are preaching this in this temple. We are asking everyone, here is Krishna. Always think of Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Then you will have to think Hare Krishna. Simply by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, you become a devotee of Krishna. From his own experience, he pointed out that the results of that devotion are wonderful. We don't do any business, but we are spending at least 25 lakhs of rupees every month. Krishna is sublime. If you remain Krishna conscious, fully dependent on Krishna, then there will be no scarcity. I started this Krishna business with 40 rupees. Now we have got 40 crores of rupees and 10,000 men eating prasadam daily. So this is Krishna consciousness. Everyone cheered Jaya. Prabhupada smiled and continued, as soon as you become Krishna conscious, you simply depend on him and work sincerely, and then Krishna will supply everything. For example, in Bombay, now the land is 1 crore of rupees worth. And when I purchased this land, might be 3 or 4 lakhs. I was confident that I shall be able to pay. Krishna will give me. There was no money. I have got now practical experience that you depend on Krishna, there will be no scarcity. Finally, Prabhupada pointedly reminded his young audience to get on with the task of becoming Krishna conscious now. While while we still have the opportunity, Arthadham, you do not know when you will die. At any moment, you will die. Therefore, become your next death. Before your next death, you realize Krishna. Arthada means even if you live for only a few years, if you take the chance of chanting Hare Krishna, still you are benefited. This chanting of Hare Krishna is so important that you can always think that death is coming, death is at my door. Let me finish my chanting. Let me finish my chanting. Always you should think like that. That death is already coming. So let me chant. So this is called Bhagavad Dharma. And the Krishna consciousness movement means Bhagavad Dharma. So you read Prahlad Maharaj's instructions very nicely and utilize it in your life. Your life will be successful. Thank you very much. To the cheers of the devotees, Prahlad left the temple and disappeared into his quarters with Hansaduta and Harikesh. I remained outside, feeling happy yet regretful. I had been allowed to travel back to Vrindavan with Prabhupada's party, but only to collect my belongings before going on to Calcutta. I reflected on how even a drop of Srila Prabhupada's mercy is so sweet and satisfying, yet it leaves you craving for more. Others were craving Srila Prabhupada's mercy also. Prithuputra, whom Harikesa had appointed as my replacement, approached me, expressing his eagerness to take over as Prabhupada's measure. I had foolishly forgotten Srila Prabhupada's gamcha in the mochel bathroom in Kurukshetra. So I had to go to Loi Bazar to buy him another, inviting inviting Prithuputra along. I explained to him what I had learned about massaging Prabhupada and told him about my experiences in New Delhi and Kurukshetra as we bumped and bounced our way through the narrow streets on a rickshaw. While at the clothes store, I bought myself a new dhoti also. Prithuputra was as excited as I had been at the prospect of personally serving his divine grace. My own feelings of regret at losing the opportunity mingled with a deep sense of gratitude for having had the chance at all, and I resigned myself to whatever my new assignment might bring. Arriving back at the mandir, however, something unexpected and wonderful occurred. Harikesa met us on the porch of Srila Prabhupada's quarters with an apology. Sorry, Prithu, forget it. Prabhupada doesn't want any change. My heart leapt and Prithu Putra's fell. Harikesa looked at me, simultaneously resigned and apologetic. Srila Prabhupada just told me he doesn't want to keep changing his servant every 5 minutes. He said, you are doing fine, so you are to continue, at least while he is here in Vrindavan. And he told me that I am to divide up the duties so that you will have a full day's engagement. I couldn't believe my good fortune. So far, I had only been doing his massage, but now I was being given full responsibility as Srila Prabhupada's personal servant, at least while he is here in Vrindavan. Not only was I being retrained, but I was also getting an increase in service. Harikesa appeared a little shamefaced, as he didn't like the idea of relinquishing the servant's duties to someone else. He admitted that losing some of his duties had left him feeling uncertain about his future and what Prabhupada wanted him to do. Nevertheless, Harikesa made me feel welcome, and I immediately moved my personal belongings into the small servant's room. The room was bare, save for a glass cabinet and a solitary line drawing on the wall of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi with baby Nimai on her lap. It was signed at the bottom Devotee Dasi, 11 by 74, I felt very privileged to be staying within the sacred presence of Srila Prabhupada's personal quarters. Srila Prabhupada is certainly being very kind, for it seems to me there are many other devotees who are more qualified than I. And yet here he is, keeping me on for a few weeks more. Thus I spent this morning with Harikesa as he filled me in on the details of my new service. First, in the bedroom, we went through the contents of Prabhupada's suitcase. Srila Prabhupada has very few personal possessions. Everything he owns fills only half of a large red suitcase. He has 3 or 4 sets of clothes, kurta, lungi, and
Hoping.
pop- a couple of sweaters, a few pairs of socks, gamcha, heavy lined winter coat, chadar, and some sundries. A second suitcase holds various electrical devices used for operating his dictaphone and the large reel-to-reel tape recorder to record his morning walks and classes. There are 2 electric bells on long leads, one of which is immediately set up between his desk and the servant's room. Whenever Prabhupada arrives at a new place, the other is a spare. The servant also uses this suitcase for his own clothing and other belongings. Harikesa showed me how to pack the suitcase properly for travel both within and outside India. It's an art in itself. He revealed the contents of Prabhupada's bedroom cupboards, which contain his bed sheets, floor covers, bathing lotus, and he handle these items. He has to give instructions about them to cleaning crew that comes in every morning when Prabhupada takes his walk. He also showed me 2 large brass buckets Prabhupada uses for bathing.
Hello, we're frozen here.
Reball.
Anybody in there?
Yes, Shobik Prabhu, please unmute you.
Yeah.
Maybe Tanushri Mataji has any internet issues.
Okay. We start from, he also showed me 2 large brass buckets Prabhupada used for bathing. So are you listening? Should I continue?
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Mata,
Okay.
for I think you have some technical problems, so I will carry on from here, okay? For bathing, which require polishing every day. And the straw mat and bottles of oil for massage. After showing me what clean cloths to lay out for Prabhupada to change into after his bath, he finally left me on my own. So the Prabhupada's servant always has to be readily available. If Prabhupada rings for anything, it is the servant who responds, not the secretary. Along with giving the 2 massages, the servant is expected to see that Prabhupada's clothes are washed, his rooms are cleaned, prasada is on time, and to arrange all the many small items needed to make Prabhupada's day go smoothly. The art is to see that Srila Prabhupada is not in any way inconvenienced and can go on with his mission of preach Krishna consciousness undisturbed. Sorry. Prabhupada's secretary, usually a GBC member, takes care of correspondence, requests for appointments with His Divine Grace, travel arrangements, tour schedules, and the like. Harikesha transcribed Prabhupada's translations and nightly revelations, and send them to the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, BBT, in Los Angeles for editing and publishing. He also cooks for Prabhupada, although here in Vrindavan, he has help with this from other devotees. At 11:15 a.m., I changed into my gamcha and went into darshan room where Prabhupada was sitting at his desk talking with some devotees. He decided to go up on the roof and sit on the sun. Prabhupada cleaned the covered back stairs without difficulty, coming out into the bright sunlight. After a quick glance of inspection over the side wall, he walked on to the 10 by 20-foot room to the open back section. Prabhupada changed into his gamcha and sat on the straw mat. As I began to massage him, Hansadutta arrived with the mail. Prabhupada sometimes replies to his letters at mid-morning, but more often during this massage. Hansadutta read each letter one by one, writing down Srila Prabhupada's replies exactly as he dictated them. It is instructive and entertaining to hear various ISKCON reports from all over the world, both the problems and the successes, and to hear Prabhupada's responses to them. He's very punctual in answering, always replying within a day or two of receiving a letter. He answered a letter as if the correspondent is there in front of him. His responses are accompanied by all the same facial gestures that mark his conversations. Appreciative, raising his eyebrows and widening his eyes. Slight tip of his head, bright smiles, scolding looks. He gives each letter his full attention, and his replies are expressive and personal and always to the point. Today he dealt with the letters he received in New Delhi. To Kirtiraj, he wrote an encouraging letter urging him to preach in Poland. He reminded him of Lord Chaitanya's prediction that Krishna consciousness will spread to every town and village in the world. Then he expressed his gratitude that so many Americans and European boys and girls are helping to make this a reality. It's not bogus like communism, socialism, and many isms going on in the world today, but it is purely spiritual, authorized by Krishna himself, who spoke the science of life 5,000 years ago on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The battlefield is still there, and you'll be happy to know that yesterday we have been at that very spot where Krishna spoke to Arjuna, and we will build a gorgeous Krishna Arjuna temple there. People will come from all over the world to see it and understand the authority and sublime message of Lord Krishna. He ended by asking Kirtiraj to send regular progress report on his mission. Pusta Krishna Swami sent a report on the proposed new Mercedes car. He also enclosed a critical news article from the magazine of a Christian sect, with his reply correcting these misconceptions. Prabhupada was pleased by his preaching and told him, they do not accept the fact of rebirth and they claim awake. So this nonsense, the magazine name was Awake. They do not accept the fact of rebirth and they claim awake. So this is nonsense. Your letter was nice. The whole world is in darkness and we're bringing it to light by preaching Bhagavatamrta. Thank you for helping me. Somebody else want to read? Starting a letter. Go ahead, Sophie.
Yes. Hare Krishna. A letter requesting Prabhupada to accept 11 new candidates for fast initiation came from Germany, and he replied to Chakravarti Das according to his standard format. Please accept my blessings. I have accepted the following list of boys and girls as my duty initiated disciples. So you are the president there at
Schloss Hettenschaft is a German name. Schloss.
It is your duty to see that the standards of Krishna consciousness are always maintained, especially chanting 16 rounds daily, observing the 4 regulative principles: no meat, fish, eggs, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex life. The students must all attend morning and evening arati and classes. If we follow this simple program along with the regular Sankirtan, distributing the books and preaching, then there will be no fall down. Just like if one keeps himself clean and properly nourished by eating regularly, he will not infect disease. But if there is neglect, there is room for infection. He becomes weak and falls prey to disease. So Krishna consciousness is the medicine for the marital disease, and chanting Hare Krishna mantra sincerely is the basic ingredient of that medicine. In accepting new disciples, Srila Prabhupada gives each a spiritual name and a new set of deeds. Srila Prabhupada has delegated the task of choosing spiritual names to his secretary. The secretary culls the names from books, listening the various names of Radha and Krishna, and they are sent with Prabhupada's reply. Prabhupada has also entra- entrusted his sannyasis and some GBCs with the responsibility of chanting the first round of the Mahamantra on each disciple's new set of beads. Sometimes he chants on the beads himself before sending them in the mail to the new disciple. Lastly, he replied to a letter from Krishna Swami in New Zealand. Krishna Maharaj belongs to a group of devotees who split away from ISKCON several years ago. They disagreed with certain methods of book distribution and the managerial structure with ISKCON. The leader of this group is a former ISKCON sannyasi named Siddha Sarupananda Goswami. Although members of this group have their own ideas about spreading Krishna consciousness, Krishna Maharaj writes to Srila Prabhupada regularly. Krishna had previously recommended various people for initiation, but before accepting them, Prabhupada wanted to know if Krishna Maharaj himself was following. Krishna's letter contained positive confirmation, and Prabhupada wrote back, every student is expected to become Acharya. Acharya means one who knows the spiritual injunctions and follow them partial, uh, but practically in life and teaches them to his disciples. I have given you sannyas with the great hope that in my absence you will preach the cult throughout the world and thus become recognized by Krishna as the most sincere servant of the Lord. So I am pleased you have not deviated from the principles I have taught and thus with power of attorney go on preaching Krishna consciousness. That will make me very happy as it is confirmed in the Gurvastakam, Dasa Prasad Bhagavad Prasadam. Just by satisfying your spiritual master who is accepted as the bona fide representative of the Lord, you satisfy Krishna immediately without any doubt. Prabhupada also alluded to Krishna's independent menta- mentality, carefully encouraging him to keep him close. Keep trained very rigidly, and then you are bona fide guru, and you can accept disciples on the same principle. But as a matter of etiquette, it is the custom that during the lifetime of your spiritual master, you bring the prospective disciples to him, and in his absence or disappearance, you can accept disciples without any limitation. This is the law of disciplic succession. I want to see my disciples become bona fide spiritual master and spread Krishna consciousness very widely. That will make me and Krishna very happy. He ended each letter with, I hope this finds you well. And the epithet, you ever well wisher AC Bhaktivedanta Swami. Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
We have a next Antara.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu, for nice reading. Wonderful.
Each day after taking dictation, Hansadutta types the letter and the letter in the evening, places them on Prabhupada's desk. Each one is clipped to an addressed envelope, a carbon copy, whatever enclosures there might be, and the letter being replied to. In the night, Prabhupada reads and signs them. They are mailed the next day. Towards the end of the message, um, Akshayananda Swami came up to the roof. He requested Prabhupada to allow Prithuputra to be initiated into the renounced order of life, joining in the ceremony already arranged for two brahmacharis from the Bombay temple, Lokanatha and Sridhara, who are to be the awarded sannyasa tomorrow. Prabhupada asks, why does he want to be sannyasi? Akshayananda replied very simplistically, to increase his preaching. Prabhupada seemed to find his answer rather trite, so Akshananda Maharaja assured him that Prithuputra was already living apart from his wife and preaching enthusiastically with the Brindavana Sankirtana party. Prabhupada was still somewhat skeptical and wanted more confirmation of this worthiness for sannyasa. He suggested that Prithuputra travel in America with the Radha Damodar party under Tamal Krishna Goswami for a year and get trained up, but Akshayananda Maharaja persisted. He said that Prithuputra had been in India for many years and wasn't thinking of leaving because Akshayananda Maharaja attested to his dependability. Prabhupada finally agreed. Since the only bathroom was the one attached to his bedroom, Prabhupada had to go back downstairs to bathe. Sitting on a small wooden stool on the marble floor of his bathroom. He mixed hot and cold water in the brass buckets and began to wash off the oil. Meanwhile, I carefully laid a set of clean cloths on his bed, kurta, dhoti, and kopina. I transferred the four gold buttons from his soiled kurta and inserted them in the clean one. After taking care of these dirty clothes and the massage paraphernalia, I wanted to the sitting room. On his desk, Prabhupada was very small silver lota filled with water, together with the matching spoon and lid. Scooping up some water with a spoon, I put it on the lid, and next to his, I put a small bowl of Gopi Chandana Tilaka clay and a compact mirror. After dressing, he crossed the black polished sitting room floor covered with thin white sheeted cotton mattresses. These serve as seats for his daily visitors. Sitting at his desk, he put on his tilaka and then chanted Gayatri mantra. Immediately after, Harikesha came into the side room carrying a full thali of prasadam. Prabhupada sat down to eat lunch in peace and solitude, eating slowly and deliberately, occasionally glancing out over the back veranda into the backyard. After lunch, Prabhupada returned to the room on the roof. Walking through the door, he turned and gave me my first direct instruction in my new service. Now, your only business is to stay with me 24 hours. You can remain here, he said, indicating a straw mat outside the door, and do not leave. Then he went inside to rest. I happily sat down, feeling very satisfied to have received my first personal directive from him. And what an instruction! To be with him continuously, who could hope for anything more? He awake an hour or so later and sat for a while at his desk reading Srimad Bhagavatam as I cooled him uh, with a small peacock fan. Feeling fully satisfied performing this menial service, it occurred to me just how simple and sublime spiritual life can be. Only a few short weeks ago, I had been busily engaged as a temple commander here in the Vrindavana, frantically running around from morning until night, and often in the middle of the night, always active and energetic. I didn't like to sit idle for even a few minutes. Since first joining the movement, I have had the impression that I wasn't properly conducting my devotional service unless I was constantly physically active and producing some tangible result. But now here I was in stark contrast, standing quietly fanning Srila Prabhupada, pouring out a little water into his cup and patiently guarding his door. It seemingly was to so little, but because it was directly pleasing to the spiritual master, I could understand to it to be just as substantial as any major undertaking in devotional service. It is extremely pleasurable to be with Prabhupada during these quiet moments. He is gentle and mild in his manner, and completely fixed and steady in his devotion to Krishna. He has tremendous strength and force, but is devoid of passion. His presence is totally dominating without being at all domineering, his mind steady and his senses controlled effortlessly. His intelligence is perfectly clear, and he knows how to act and how others should act in every situation. His presence thus makes spiritual life a reality. Watching him today, it struck me that he is living, breathing Bhagavatam. Whatever description of Krishna consciousness is in his books, he himself is that. Reading his books brings gradual realization. But what is understood in perhaps several lifetimes of study is revealed on a second to second, minute to minute, and day to day basis in Prabhupada's personal association. I have therefore resolved within myself to learn as much as I can, while I have this matchless opportunity to observe him closely, simply watching Srila Prabhupada in his daily activities, how he deals with devotees, how he responds to different situations, how he preaches, how he manages the worldwide affairs of his ever expanding society, how he relaxes, how he continually pushes forward the movement of Lord Chaitanya. How absolutely every fact of his being is fully Krishna conscious. It is quite feasible to understand the full import of sacred scriptures by studying and preaching. One may make steady advancement, but at least for me, although I have full faith in Krishna consciousness, many ideas and principles are still only intellectually perceived, not yet fully realized. But by observing Srila Prabhupada, I can see they are natural, integral part of his being. Shall I continue?
We have a next. Who is the next? Raise hand. Neha, how are you? Carry on, Neha.
December 3rd,
1975. Yes.
December 3rd, 1975. First thing this morning, Prabhupada complained that during the night someone snoring has disturbed him. Prabhupada translates in his sitting room, which is next to the servants' room, where all three of us sit. Since Harikesha has not previously drawn any complaint, we concluded that the culprit is either Hasa or myself. So we now share a guest house room. Today I gave Srila Prabhupada a new Tilaka mirror. His previous one was converted powder compact given to him in Japan with an ivory design on the lid and mirror inside. The face powder has been removed and replaced with a picture of Radha and Krishna. In September, I had asked a local craftsman to make a new compact as a Vyasa Puja gift for Srila Prabhupada. I received it just last Friday. But 2 months late, it is made of solid silver with peacock embossed on the bottom and gold relief depicting Krishna and Balarama in Vrindavan, forest on the lake. Although it is considerably heavier than the one it replaces, Prabhupada seemed to like it very much. I was surprised and pleased when he offered me his
Please
help.
raise
Prabhuji,
the,
please.
yeah, thank you.
During Srila Prabhupada's last visit in August and September, he spent the 3 weeks from Janmashtami to Radhastami painstakingly supervising every aspect of the temple management. And he is continuing to do so on this trip as well. He is personally inspecting the temple, guest house, and restaurant. He ensured that we were maintaining proper standards of deity worship, such as overseeing the quality of the bhoga offering and scrutinizing the flowers we purchased for the lordship garlands. We were, he was aware of the devotees' attendance at the programs and would speak out whenever our standards, cleanliness, and punctuality fell short. He was even concerned with the hired laborers' attention to their work. The plan for the new Gurukula building and many other important features of life in the large and important temple compound all received his concerned attention. This trip is no different. Most of his disciples here are law writers with little or no experience in managing affairs in India. Therefore, Prabhupada is personally checking on everything, correcting, advising, and sometimes chastising. Visala Dasa got a taste of Prabhupada's chastisement this morning. Visala is in his mid-30s, a rotund, early devotee from America. He is likable and eager to please, but with an mechanically humble manner that can border on the unreal. Prabhupada generally received Sala's overwrought praises with good humor and appreciation. But this morning he decided it wasn't the time for eulogies. As Prabhupada strode out to the front gate for his morning walk, Visala emulated and Vedic Brahmanas by chanting some verses from the Srimad Bhagavatam in praise of Prabhupada. We think that we've met your goodness by the wind of Providence. Dipping the spiral tapered walking stick like Visala himself given him for this year's Vyas Puja gift, Prabhupada poked his silver tip at some puddle in the temple entrance way and interrupted caustically. It is the grace of Providence you do not see that it is properly placed, unexpectedly cut short and somewhat taken back. Visala stammered apologetically, I am sorry. I will see that, your divine grace, that is my fault. Prabhupada remained deadpan. Why there is water? This water means the shoes, dirt, it will be dirty. So you have no eyes to see. I am blind. I'm sorry. I will see that it is clean for you. Then become with eyes. Simply plain. What will you do? Do something practical. Learning Vishala Agre, he strode strongly off down the road with his amused disciple following. Harikesha Prabhu perceived some irony in his Srila Prabhupada remark. This, this is the argument people always throw against it. He said, simply praying, what will you do? Do something practical. People often criticize the devotees this way. Prabhupada answered the Krishna consciousness of the practical side of yoga. He said that it isn't a system of simply pressing the nose. Krishna consciousness is not mere sentiment and excuse for doing nothing, nor are the devotees incapable of real achievements. He explained that the real problem is that people are not following Krishna's instructions properly. If one practically surrenders to Krishna, he makes everything successful. Practical, he said, means it will be done by Krishna. Your only business is to surrender to Krishna. You cannot do anything. And as soon as you think, I shall be able to do it, then you are a rascal. Immediately you are a rascal. So only a fully surrendered soul can do everything perfectly. Hari Krishna asked. Prabhupada answered, he cannot do anything. Everything is to be done by Krishna. But he has to apply his intelligence by Krishna consciousness. Even if he is intelligent, he cannot do anything. This is added, it's surrender. Yes, he can surrender and Krishna will do everything. You have to act very sincerely under the direction of Krishna. Then the war will be successful, as Arjuna did. Hare Krishna wanted more clarification, so imperfect activity is a sign of lack of surrender. Yes, Prabhupada said, you walk sincerely, devotedly, and have a faith in Krishna. Will save me from all dangers. That's his iti visvasa palana. I have surrendered to Krishna sincerely. Now Krishna will give me all protection. This faith, that is beginning of devotional life faith. So this faith, Shraddha or Nishtha, Hare Krishna said. Shraddha beginning Shraddha, then he advanced, then he becomes fixed. Yes, Krishna is protecting me. Prabhupada walked this way occasionally, stopping to emphasize a point, sometimes greeting the local resident with Hare Krishna, and sometimes speaking a little about the surroundings. After exactly half an hour, he turned and headed back for a upon entering the temple compound, Prabhupada noticed a young Western hippie girl who was staying in the guest house. He cautioned the managers that people in such dress should not be admitted to the guest house simply because they are paying guests. We must use some discretion, otherwise the local residents will consider us no better than our hippie is. Akshayananda Maharaj explained that the hippie girl had agreed to wear a sari, and when she arrived, but has now reverted to her old dress. Prabhupada said, yes, that is due to habit. Akshayananda told Prabhupada that recently one young man had arrived here dressed in similar way, but after a few days he shaved his head and became a devotee. Prabhupada told him that that was all right, but meanwhile the temple will become known as Hippie Resort and the prestige of the temple will be minimized. Nevertheless, he added that we must give everyone a chance to become a devotee. If they do not change their habits after 3 days, they should be asked to leave. This is Indian, American, and French disciples had before him. Prabhupada conducted the fire yajna this morning for the sannyasa initiation of Loknath, Sridhara, and Krishiputra. In the temple courtyard, he gave short outbreaks from the sannyasa mantra beginning Ikasha Astya Paratma Nishtha. From the Chaitanya Charitamrita, he told them that although they are young men in the midst of very powerful material energies, if they simply keep full faith in Krishna and follow the previous acharyas, they will remain fixed up. He advised them to use by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. He even suggested that the sannyasis they could chant extra rounds, describing the sannyasa initiation as the last ceremonial procedure in the Varnashram system, and the sannyasi as the guru of the other social and spiritual religions. He told them to follow the example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and preach all over the world. Preaching is also not very difficult because you haven't got to manufacture anything. Everything is there and it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also took sannyasa at very early age, 24 years old only. So he has practically shown by his activities how to preach Krishna consciousness all over the world. He gives order to everyone. Hamara Ajasya Guru Hasataya Desa. In whichever country you may live, it doesn't matter. Try to deliver them by becoming their Guru. How one becomes Guru. That is also very easy. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yare Tekha Tare Kaha Krishna. Updesha. You haven't got to manufacture anything. Simply you try to repeat the instruction of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna Updesha. Not only Bhagavad Gita, there are many other instructions, especially Bhagavad Gita. So if you simply carry message of Bhagavad Gita, then you become Guru. Manufacture anything, then it will be spoiled. Man mana bhavan, mad bhakto, mad yajni, mam namastu. You can Everyone can say this. Krishna says you always think of me. So you can repeat only you can say to others, my dear sir, please think of Krishna. It doesn't require very much education. Simply just like Leon carry the message. So you always think of Krishna. Then you become Guru. If you follow it strictly, you also think of Krishna yourself and you each other. My dear sir, my only request is that you think of Krishna. Nobody will give you. If he doesn't follow, he will appreciate you. Oh, these sannyasis are very nice. They are advising to think of Krishna. Then you become Guru. Simple thing. Shall I continue? Or Will we
Thank
Gaurav?
you. Yes, Prabhuji,
Yes.
our 1 hour left. So we can
Okay.
stop. So next.
You make a note in here, okay? He ended with a reference. So this will be for the next Wednesday. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji, I took a screenshot.
Thank you so much. So everybody got some nectar?
Yes.
Very cool, huh? This is good.
Jai.
Dan, thank you so much. Your impromptu help. And
Thank you for the Seva opportunity.
Yes, Damodar Prabhu ki jai.
save the day. You save the day. Thank you for those who read it. If somebody didn't read, to next time we can put you in the schedule. And this time, each one that read a big portion, so it's okay. So thank you so much for this beautiful association. We have Radhasmi coming up, and as a matter of information, 31st of August is also here, Merdeka in Malaysia. Merdeka is the Independence Day, and they have a big, festivities everywhere and like that. So thank you so much, and we'll see you maybe Sunday class also. This is a big group, 5 people, and we'll see you all. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. With your permission, I take
Yeah,
my
thank you,
leave.
Prabhuji.
Haribol.
Hare
Haribol.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Bol.
Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you.